Hello YouTube, this is Chris again, Bex Animal Services. Today's video is going to be a part 2 of a video that I made about 12 years ago about the CDC warning about a zombie apocalypse and how to prepare for it. I've always said I believe a zombie apocalypse is going to happen. I've also always said that the Bible is a paranormal book and it speaks of a zombie apocalypse, which it doesn't, but it kind of does. And I think that's how the devil's going to twist it. And I'll explain that in a minute. I always made a joke about how some stupid private Joe was going to be in an underground facility somewhere guarding a zombie in a cell on a need to know basis. He's going to get bit or somehow, or he's going to let it out. And that's how the zombie apocalypse is going to start. It's either he let the zombie out and he doesn't tell nobody, or he gets bit and then he doesn't tell nobody because he doesn't want to get in trouble or get in quarantine or get killed or whatever, and so he unwillingly spreads the virus. Um, so, like I said, I do believe in a real life zombie apocalypse. Now, I also do not know whether it's going to be a biblical thing, which is very possible. And I'll show you that why in a second. But it could also be, and or be, it could be both, um, a man-made virus that the devil's cronies make and turn humans that are alive into walkers. Um, or like I said, it could be the devil counterfeiting God, or trying to counterfeit God and mock God. He even in the book of Revelations, he takes God's seat and appears to be God. So that could be part of this. So I was scrolling through YouTube today and I came across this video here, and the channel I recommended you go subscribe to. Well, this is his third channel. He's got three channels. Feed Your Mind. And this was published a couple days ago, and a lot of people are speculating that this because it's Halloween and it's satire and all this, but it's not. It's very real, and I'm going to prove to you it's very real. Um, Even Hitler tried to make zombies back in World War II. He believed that he was speaking to aliens, and the aliens were telling him to get certain artifacts and certain emblems and do things a certain way, and that uh, he would win the war. And he also was trying to make a undead soldiers, undead army. And that's the premises of what the COD zombies are. I mean, even I think it's in Black Ops 2, they with George Romero, they talk about documents they had found and that Hitler was trying to do this and all that. If you go research it, it's an actual thing. That's what he was doing. Um, he was working on time machines, the Glocka, and all that. There's a lot more to Hitler than what you're told in school and history books. So anyway, so he was trying to make an undead soldier, a zombie that didn't need to eat, didn't need to sleep, didn't need to drink, didn't need to rest. They were hard to kill, but they would still follow orders. To the best of my knowledge, it never succeeded. He never was able to make it happen. But I will link this in the description box below. I will link all these videos in the description box below. Go watch them for yourself. If you look up um, if you go look up CDC warns a zombie apocalypse, so many videos pop up. These are just ones that I picked for this video. There's tons more. So, and I will also link my video from 12 years ago where it was all over the news. It was in the newspaper. It was in the on the radio, on the news, on TV, everywhere. I think that's where I recorded this from. Was the zombie where the news had reported that CDC had um, warned of a zombie apocalypse and how to prepare for it. So go watch that as well. So if you type in zombie apocalypse, um, CDC zombie preparedness, I should say. You get all these articles. 2023 from CDC, uh, another one from CDC, another one from CDC. This in 2018. You got 2021, a couple years ago, USA Today, so on and so on, talking about it. So if you go over to the actual CDC website, they say CDC published zombie preparedness. CDC published preparedness 101 zombie apocalypse to the Public Health Matters blog in 2011. Um, the post was an example of educational entertainment. See, that they always use stuff like that to make people like me look crazy. But they tell the truth out in the entertainment. They tell the truth in media. They tell the truth everywhere, but it's usually mixed in with lies. And you got to decipher the truth because they don't out and out come out and say it. But they try to make us, people like me, look like we're stupid, tinfoil hat wearers, by saying, oh, it was entertainment. Oh, it was tongue in cheek. Oh, it was this. Oh, it was that. It's satire. It was it was whatever. It used a popular culture reference to zombies to promote preparedness for different emergencies and disasters. The campaign is now retired. You can still learn how to prepare yourself and others by visiting Prepare Yourself Health website. Okay, it's been retired, right? But over here they say it was such a success. Then why'd you retire it? Wonder why zombies, zombie apocalypse, zombie preparedness continue to live or walk dead on the CDC website? Actually, no, it doesn't no longer. It's been retired. Uh, it turns out that what first began as a tongue-in-cheek, remember that because you're going to hear that a lot in the videos that I show you, a campaign to engage new audiences with preparedness messages has proven to be very effective platform. Well, if that's the case, then why'd you retire it? We continue to reach and engage a wide variety of audiences on all hazard preparedness via zombie preparedness. And as such, our director, Dr. Ali, I can't pronounce his name, Khan, notes if we are generally well equipped to deal with a zombie apocalypse, we were prepared for a hurricane. No, we won't. I would prepare a lot different than for a zombie apocalypse, for a hurricane, pandemic, earthquake, or a terrorist attack. You prepare different for all of those. I'm sorry. It can be tough to get people thinking about emergency preparedness, but before disaster strikes, we have created these zombie posters to spark some attention and get people involved before it's too late. Download the PDF, blah, 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 from Center Disease Control Prevention Office, Public Health and Preparedness and Response, Zombie Preparedness webpage. And then if you go to that website, it says oops, and it's no longer there. If you go over here and look, I mean, these are so much, and I don't know if I've touched on this already in this video. This is my fourth time trying to record this. Different things going wrong, but CDC, USA Today, 2021, all recent. A lot of these, some of these are this year. So these are some of the mini Bible verses that speak like it's a version of The Walking Dead, like it's a zombie apocalypse. And it's, to me, possible that it's going to be biblical. The devil trying to mimic God, like he does in the book of Revelations, where he takes God's throne and appears to be God. This could be his version of that, the zombie apocalypse. And it could be demons or evil spirits that are controlling these dead bodies that raise up from the ground. This is Isaiah 26:19. But your dead will live, Lord. The bodies will rise. Let those who dwell in the dust wake up and shout for joy. Your dew is like the dew of the morning. The earth will give birth to her dead. So in other words, it's dead that's been risen. Okay? This is Old Testament. Another Old Testament. And this is why I say it could be a biological agent, and or like Hitler did, or it could be biblical, and it could be a demon, the demons or evil spirits controlling these dead bodies to make this zombie apocalypse, because the devil's trying to counterfeit and mock God. Because if you look at the way Ezekiel 37 says, it's the valley of dry bones, chapter or verse 1. The hand of the Lord was upon me, and he brought me up by the spirit of the Lord. He set me in the middle of the valley. It was full of bones. He led me back and forth among them, and I saw a great many bones on the floor. I remember that being ground, so that's possibly another Mandela effect. Of the valley, bones that were dry, were very dry. He asked me, Son of man, can these bones live? I said, Sovereign Lord, you alone know. Then he said to me, prophesy to these bones, and say to them, dry bones, hear the words of a word of the Lord. This is what the Sovereign Lord says to these bones: I will make breath enter you, and you will come to life. I will attach tendons. I don't remember tendons ever being in the Bible. And you will make flesh come upon tendons to you, and make flesh come upon you. I remember that being there. And cover you with skin. I remember that being there as well. I will put breath in you, and you will come to life. Then you will know that I am the Lord. See, and that's why I think it's biblical, because all of these it's raising the dead or a zombie, and it's saying, then you will know that I am the Lord, I am God. So it's very, very possible that the devil is going to raise the dead. They're going to have the spirit of the Antichrist or demons or evil spirits in them, so they're not going to be of God. So we're going to have a real life Walking Dead, and it could be part of this great delusion, one of the delusions that's going to happen when the devil takes God's throne and appears to be God. Because I mean, God's using this as an example that He's God. So I perished as I was prophesied as I was commanded, and as I was prophesying, there was a noise, a rattling sound, and the bones came together, bone to bone. I looked, and the tendons, again, I don't remember that being there, and flesh appeared on them, and the skin covered them. But there was no breath in them. Then he said to me, prophesy to the breath, prophesy, Son of man, and say to it, this is what the Sovereign Lord says. Come, breath from the four winds, and breathe into these slain. So these were humans that were dead, and God's bringing them back to life, which would be essentially what we're told as zombies. So it's very possible it's going to be the devil doing the Walking Dead type of zombies, and he said, look, I'm God. I made the dead rise. Spoke of in the Bible, like in Ezekiel, something of that along those lines. Four winds slain, that they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath entered them. They came to life and stood up on their feet, and a vast army. Then he said to me, Son of man, these bones are the people of Israel. They say, our bones are dried up, and our hopes are gone. We are cut off. Therefore prophesy and say to them, this is what the Sovereign Lord says. My people, I am going to open your graves and bring you up from them. I will bring you back to the land of Israel. Then you, my people, will know that I am the Lord when I open your graves and bring you up from them. I put my spirit in you, and you will live, and I will settle you in your own land. See, God says, I will put my spirit in you. So it's very possible that these Walking Dead version of the zombies that we're being warned about and then being told it's tongue-in-cheek and a joke, that are they're controlled by the devil. They got demons and evil spirits in them. But they're not going to be the way they're described of in the Bible. they're going to be the Walking Dead type of zombie. So another verse, this is New Testament, where Jesus was crucified on the cross, resurrected, or buried and resurrected. And it's another one that speaks of like the Walking Dead, like a zombie. But it's not going to be the devil. It's not the devil's Walking Dead zombies. It's God raising people from the dead, and they're going to be people. They're not going to be zombies. But how this reads, the devil can twist that, manipulate it to make it look that way. Matthew 27:50. And when Jesus had cried out again in a loud voice, he gave up his spirit. Jesus gave up his spirit, so he's not God. At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom, and the earth shook, the rocks split, and the tombs broke open. The bodies of many holy people who had died were raised to life. They came out of the tombs after Jesus' resurrection and went into the holy city and appeared to many people. So you see how that can be misunderstood as a zombie, like a Walking Dead zombie. I mean, I used to always say the Bible is a paranormal book, and it even speaks of zombies, and a lot of other people do too, think that or say that. So it's very possible the devil can use this in the end times, make a Walking Dead style of zombie, have evil spirits and demons in them, and fool many people thinking he's God. This could be another one of the delusions that that God allows. And the government obviously knows something, like how they have a team for aliens and UFOs and stuff like that. The actual government does, like Operation Paperclip, the study of aliens and UFOs and how to combat them and so on. They've actually got a unit or units and documents of zombies and how to study them and learn them and defeat them. And this is the video I'm showing you right now. Check this out, guys. Sorry about that. I was trying to get to a specific... Anyway, did you notice it said 2011 when it was declassified? The same year as this here? That's what I was trying to get back to, so my bad, guys. Anyway, continue watching. That just dawned on me. Did you notice that chicken? Look at all the recalls we're having right now on food. More recalls than I've ever had in my whole life, than I've ever seen in my whole life. Anyway, let's move on. Oh, another thing I wanted to point out at the very beginning of this is another way they're trying to make people like me look like we're crazy and tinfoil hat wearers. Is like I said, they say, oh, this is tongue in cheek, this is entertainment, or zombies aren't real. But then they show proof like this that our U.S. government believes they're real, has a military task force, and is training people to be prepared against this stuff. Well, training the military and police, as you'll see. Let's move on to the next one.
Could the global spread of an existing disease lead to a zombie-like pandemic?
Oh, and by the way, this was this year when this video was released by the History Channel, which has been blowing my stuff up with alien, UFO, and now zombie stuff the last, especially few months. Let that one sink in.
A look around the world paints a surprisingly bleak picture.
Nature is full of diseases and plagues that turn people into real-life zombies. The so-called nodding disease that we see at the moment in Uganda emerged in Sudan.
If you don't know who that is, that's Nick Poe. I think I pronounced his name right. They say he's the real-life Fox Mulder. His main thing he's known for is ufology. So ask yourself, if all this stuff isn't tied together, which I believe that it is, like I keep saying in all my videos, all this stuff I talk about, the paranormal, government conspiracies, government cover-ups, political, biblical, it's all tied together. And it's good versus evil. But why do they have a ufologist? No, that's what he's known for in a video talking about diseases and zombies, if they're not all tied together. Because if you're making a documentary about this, you wouldn't be using somebody that's a ufologist. You'd be using somebody that's a professional in diseases and disease outbreaks, right?
In the 60s, little's known about it. It turns people almost into vegetables. You get kids affected by this thing. They rock backwards and forwards. They nod their heads. It affects their brains.
They look at times like they're near death or dead. Ultimately, it kills. But before it does that, these children can become violent. They become mindless.
But the nodding disease is not alone in causing disturbing zombie-like symptoms. There is also the human variation of mad cow disease, called variant Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, or VCJD.
It's caused by a mutated protein. They're new.
And I believe that the elite, the powers to be, are causing all these food shortages, and they're causing all these recalls, and they're putting all these chemicals in our food and in our skies with chemtrails and all that, is to cause stuff like this. Like I said earlier, I believe it could be a mixture of both. It could be the devil raising the dead that he owns the souls of, and that's going to be the zombie apocalypse, trying to mimic God, and or he's going to have his puppets do like Hitler did, and they're trying to make a zombie apocalypse with all these different chemicals. And I don't think it's the foods that's recalled that's going to have it. I think it's the food that's not recalled that's going to have it, is a good possibility, because they're recalling these, so it's leaving us no options but to buy these products.
New indications that VCJD can be transmitted from person to person through blood contact. On top of that, the symptoms are evolving. It causes you to go violently insane, so much so that some experts have recommended that if someone starts showing advanced signs of VCJD, you should lock them in a room until they die, because it's 100% fatal. There's no treatment. And if that person who's violently insane attacks...
But if you lock them in their room till they die, then you go to jail. I mean, look at that family a long time ago where the girl was possessed by a demon. It was proven she was possessed by a demon. They did exorcisms on her willingly. The family allowed it, and the church did it. And she refused to eat. They had her in her room, locked in her room, and she refused to eat. The demon that was in her wasn't allowing her to eat or drink. She died because of that. And they went after the parents, and they went after the church. I believe the church got in real big trouble over it. The parents got pretty much dissolved of any wrongdoing. But they went after the church, and real big went after the church. Because she died. Because the demons were keeping her from eating and drinking, even though they were giving her food and water. The demons were not allowing her to eat and drink, and because such, she died. So if we lock him in a room, as this guy's suggesting, we'd be in trouble for murder.
you, gets their blood on you or in you, then it's 100% communicable. To me, that looks a lot like what we think of as a type of zombie sickness.
If the
Again, not Halloween or anything to do with Halloween. This was April 27th, 2023. I believe I said this. I showed this video. This was 5 years ago. Yeah, it was October 31st, but this one was not. I don't think this one is either. Nope, March 21st, 2023.
Lots more to get to on this Tuesday morning, including the CDC sounding off on what it's calling an urgent public health threat. A highly drug-resistant fungus that's spreading at an alarming rate from just 4 states in 2016, as you see in the map there, to more than half of the United States in 2022. While scientists do not believe that the fungus is a threat to people who are otherwise healthy, it can be dangerous and potentially deadly to those who are medically fragile. NBC's senior medical correspondent, Dr. John Torres, is here. So first of all, Dr.
Listen to his wording. This guy here, this doctor, whatever. He brings up, of all things, The Last of Us, which is a video game, 2-part video game, and now a TV series. The second one was all woke, and the TV show apparently is all woke. It's the storyline from the movie is, or the game rather, the second game. The main female character, she's gay, and it's all following her story and her life because Joel gets killed and bludgeoningly just murdered. Of course, he's a white guy, so a straight white guy. Of course, they killed him off, and people were mad at that. But listen to his wording, and in this is the same disease. They contradict each other about the same disease. He makes it sound like it's not that bad, and in this video says otherwise. Not too far apart. Again, this isn't Halloween, and this isn't April, and this is in May, a few days after this one was put out.
John, where did this fungus come from, and how concerned should we all be?
And first and foremost, as far as how concerned, this is not the Last of Us type of apocalypse. This is not going to take over the globe and cause, Armageddon throughout the world. But it is something that definitely needs to be looked into because, like you mentioned, it has increased since 2016 many fold and has spread throughout the country. World Health Organization says this is a global threat as well. Problem is, it's resistant to common antifungal drugs, and it seems to be getting more and more resistant. It's difficult.
Now listen to this one. Not even a month, a couple weeks later.
The alarming spike in cases has been discovered in more than 15 hospitals and long-term care facilities across southern Nevada. The dangerous and sometimes lethal drug-resistant fungal infection, Candida auris, is spreading across the state at the nation's most rapid rate. The CDC just warned the fungus posed a significant threat nationwide.
In a lot of situations, investigation will reveal that there are many more cases, and it's just the tip.
And why in a couple of these shots does it show them like that? He's handling that without no gloves, without nothing on that Petri dish. If that's supposed to be the fungus, and it's so easily caught and deadly and passes to other people, why?
Tip of the iceberg, and it's been spreading undetected for some time.
Showing it can evade antifungal drugs, Cioris, as it's known, can infect the bloodstream, heart, or brain, and is mostly connected to patients in healthcare settings. Spread from surfaces like bed rails or pieces of equipment, the fungus can also survive on the skin. Now in Nevada, where there's more than 1,000 cases, there are signs of community spread.
A lot of these.
But like I said, you go back over here, and this guy, if that's supposed to be the fungus, why is he holding it with no protection on whatsoever and without a closed lid on that? Because a closed lid, you'd still be able to see through it and see it on that Petri dish. That sounds fishy to me. This one, March 3rd, 2021, so fairly new. Nowhere near Halloween.
Now, this is very bizarre. Questions about a possible zombie apocalypse make for a lively topic on social media.
The CDC made a tongue-in-cheek reply by issuing
See, there's a tongue-in-cheek. And see, here's the list. And when you go watch my video that I made about it 12 years ago, I'll post that in the link in the description with all these other links. It's the same list. So if it was closed down years and years and years ago, it's no longer a thing. Why are these news organizations talking about it now in 2021, 2023? And showing the exact list when you can't even get the list anymore. It says it is no longer available.
Tips on how to be zombie ready in case of a sudden outbreak. They say treat it like any other disaster by preparing an emergency kit. Next, they recommend that families come up with an emergency plan. And according to CDC officials, if zombies ever did start roaming the streets, the agency would conduct an investigation, much like one for any other disease outbreak, providing technical assistance to cities, states, international partners dealing with a zombie infestation.
The reason I believe that they're taking it down and saying it was just entertainment and it was just to get people more aware of being prepared for all these other disasters is because people like me are shedding light on it and proving that it is not fake and false and some entertainment BS, and to get people more involved in being prepared for things, because we're not dumb monkeys. If you tell us what you all these years up until 2011 when they made that, when they showed us how to be prepared for a natural disaster, we did it. And then when they showed us something else that was an upgraded version of that, say like the earthquake being under a desk, and then they upgraded that to doorways and in bathtubs and whatever, we followed that. Why would you need to make up some fake zombie thing in 2011? So way before all this woke, crazy retardedness. I mean, there was still some then, but not like it is now. People still had some kind of a common sense. Why would you need to make up something like that to get people's attention? Let that sink in. So let's go to the next one. This, they say tongue-in-cheek so many times. It's like, how many times can you say it?
A zombie apocalypse may not be top of your mind, but maybe it's something you want to consider. Thank you, Quincy. The CDC updating their tips to get you prepared. The actual CDC.
The actual CDC. So the extreme occurrence guidelines started as a bit of a tongue-in-cheek.
I thought I get to read this one.
Oh. Well, okay, go ahead.
See, tongue-in-cheek.
Roll the product back just a little bit. I'll read it right. Here we go. The extreme occurrence guidelines started as a tongue-in-cheek government campaign.
Tongue-in-cheek, there's two.
Done reading.
Okay, you have to
done reading. Tongue-in-cheek.
There we go. Tongue-in-cheek.
3, 4,
now offers a
5.
Really a practical guide at any emergency, even zombies. They say the first step is creating an emergency kit with essentials to last several days, including water, non-perishable food. Really, with the video, non-perishable food.
Okay, this is in 2023, last month, and yet they're all still reading from the same list that we don't have access to anymore because, as you saw on their own website, they've closed that down. You can't access that list anymore. I tried because I was going to put that in this video like I did in the first video in 12 years ago. You can't access that list anymore. So where are they getting this list? To be able to read it. Are their handlers giving it to them? To read out the list that the CDC used to have on their website 12 years ago? This one, 2015, November, so after Halloween, nothing to do with Halloween. Listen how serious she is with this. Like, she is dead serious. Apparently, she didn't get the memo. She didn't understand the assignment, or she understood it too well, because like you saw in the last one, they were laughing and cutting up and everything else. Like, they were trying to make it like some hilarious joke so that people wouldn't believe it as true. So maybe she didn't get the memo that she was supposed to act that way, because listen to her.
If you're the kind of person who strategizes about how to survive The Walking Dead, this could be crucial life-saving information.
And look at the words that they use. The Walking Dead, or they use The Last of Us, stuff that people have in their subconscious mind and knowing what they are. So they tie the two together. That's important.
researchers have rated the best and worst cities
Researchers now,
in the case of zombie
not some nut crazy person like me, right?
and worst cities in the case of zombie apocalypse. Economic Modeling Specialists International ranked cities on their ability to defend against a zombie attack, stockpiling food, containing zombies, finding a cure. And if you live in New York City, hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're toast. The city got the worst rating, followed by Tampa, Los Angeles, Riverside, and San Bernardino, California. Southern California really stinks. And Chicago. So the nation's
California stinks more than if a zombie apocalypse was to hit. Trust me, I know I live here. A zombie apocalypse would improve this state with the way that it's being run. So let's move on because I don't want to make this too long. Go and watch all these videos yourself. The links will be in the description. I've already had this like my 5th time trying to record this. Messed up for some reason or another. This is Homeland Security. So now you have military. This one here, which is the first one I showed you. Now you have police with the Homeland Security training for a zombie apocalypse. And they try to make it sound like, oh, it was just a fun way of doing it in a serious manner. No, why would you spend all this money and go through all this nonsense? I mean, watch, guys. It's crazy.
Republican Senator Tom Coburn triggering our Washington Watchdog report, and ABC's Jonathan Karl has what is in his report.
The zombie apocalypse. This isn't some really bad B movie. It's an actual scene from the 2012 counterterrorism summit attended by law enforcement.
Okay, this is December, so after Halloween, so it has nothing to do with Halloween.
By a Bearcat armored vehicle.
Oh, I went too far. My bad.
Attended by law enforcement officials around the country. Summit tickets, $1,000 a pop, paid for with your tax dollars. The zombies look scary, but organizers say the skit was solely to add levity to an otherwise serious meeting on protecting the homeland.
To add levity, huh? So the old way of doing it, of having a terrorist guy in a vest that goes boom, or some kind of hostage situation or something of that nature, isn't good enough anymore. You got to make up scenarios. I don't believe it was made up. I believe they're going to go through all this trouble and spend all this money and go through all of this. It's for a reason. They're showing the truth. This is how they're being prepared, by telling us it's a joke and we can't be prepared. And then when the stuff happens, they say, oh, we told you back in 2011, we told you, the CDC warned you how to be prepared for a zombie apocalypse. But then they don't go, oh, then they take it back as a joke and tongue in cheek so that nobody takes it serious. So they can say, oh, we warned you. It's not our fault you didn't believe us. And then in this video here, he goes on and saying how this is stupid and it's useless, spend the money and this and that. Again, that's deflecting. This guy is deflecting, saying, it's nonsense and all this money shouldn't be spent on doing these things, to make it look like they're not really doing a training exercise for a real zombie apocalypse.
Senator Tom Coburn says it's just another example of more than $7 billion in questionable Homeland Security spending every year.
Blown. Waste.
In a new report, Coburn cites example after example, including nearly $30,000 for an underwater robot in Columbus, Ohio, the $69,000 hovercraft for Indianapolis, and this. The sleepy town of Keene, New Hampshire, citing the need to secure its annual Pumpkin Festival, was awarded a grant to buy a Bearcat armored vehicle. Price tag.
You see how they add all those other retarded purchases in on that? So your brain goes, yeah, they wasted all this money for that. It's useless stuff. This was useless stuff. There's not going to be a real zombie apocalypse. It's just wasted money. And then you move on. You don't do any more research into it. You're left in the dark. You're blinded. You're fooled by the devil. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. I got a lot of stuff to do, and it's almost 6 o'clock. And like I said, it's my 4th time, I think, recording this video. And I need to get this up to you guys. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think about all this and, you know, what I pointed out. And have you done any more research on this and what you think about it? So anyway, use all the links in the About Me section. Go to all these links and watch the full videos in entirety, and then do more research on it, and you'll see I'm not crazy, guys. Anyway, use all the links in the About Me section. Much love, God bless, and I will see you on the next one.